Acres Packaging, Cohen, and Magnote, a shape company, are pleased to present the Atrium Medical Center Foundation Community Hero Award to Dr. Bruce and Neila Barnes. Together, the Barneses have worked diligently on behalf of our community and the foundation for decades. Their commitment, persistence, and loyalty set them apart. Their dedication to strengthening healthcare close to home distinguishes them as the 5th recipients of Atrium's Community Hero Award. Dr. and Mrs. Barnes have lived most of their almost 70-year marriage in Middletown. They raised 3 children and are the proud grandparents of 6 and great-grandparents of 2.
And I've been honored to serve with Bruce and Neila for many years. I've known them before that. When I was a young pup, I grew up down the street from them, and I was their paper boy when I was little. They were great tippers. They're a very dedicated couple. You almost never see one without the other. When I use the term Neila and Bruce, it's almost always together.
I think what's incredible about Bruce and Neila is their ability to provide perspective as well as historical context to how we got to where we are. One thing about the Atrium community is they genuinely respect the legacy that came before them. And it's pretty powerful what Bruce, Neila, and their peers have been able to accomplish in our community.
Bruce and Neila met while both were students at The Ohio State University. In 1953, they married and began the journey that led them to Middletown.
Ohio State is more than a university, it really is our family.
Obviously, my father had a long history there because his brother Jack had preceded him and his sister Lois followed him there. And their father was a professor at Ag Economics at the university, so it was pretty predestined that they were all going to go there. My grandfather on the other side, Muir, had also grown up in Columbus and gone to Ohio State and gone to the medical school there. And he always wanted one of his daughters, when he was living in Brooklyn, to return there.
Faith, family, and friends have been core values for the Barnes family. Bruce and Neila modeled community involvement with church, civic organizations, and the hospital, instilling a commitment to service in their 3 children.
Their philosophy always was that don't bring too much attention to yourself. You know, if you've earned the recognition, you'll get it. Don't worry about that, and lead by example, I think, is the best approach that I heard as growing up.
The Barneses are known for their family traditions and strong marriage.
Family vacations for over 50 years for us in the summers were at Crystal Lake in Michigan outside of Frankfort. We would just have a ball up there sailing, water skiing, you know, doing all kinds of tennis, golf, all those activities. But my mother was the driver really in getting us into lots of activities, whether we wanted to or not.
Their marriage is amazing, and I don't think anyone we know has a marriage quite like that, and I know the 3 of us have always aspired to have marriages like that, and it's something to continually work towards. But they're flexible and they're very giving to each other, and they've been very committed to each other.
They both understand each other's skill sets, and they know when to balance that, and so let the other one take the lead in this particular situation and let the other, the vice versa in a different situation. Like any true team, they know how to leverage each other's strengths.
In 2003, Atrium Medical Center Foundation added a new way to secure outstanding health care for our region's future. The new Heritage Society would encourage members to include the foundation in their wills or estate plans. Bruce and Neila stepped up to serve as co-chairs, a commitment that lasted until 2020.
And Bruce and Neila have been able to embrace what we've been able to accomplish in the past, as well as be able to communicate the treasures that we appreciate at the hospital today because of the Heritage Society and because of the foundation, and easily connect with additional members of the community to highlight the opportunity to pass those treasures on for many generations to come.
Bruce and Neila have had a tremendous impact on Middletown. Bruce's oral surgery practice cared for thousands of patients, and the couple has served on local committees and boards, hospital fundraising campaigns, the foundation board of directors, and Atrium's gala committees. In 1976, Neila chaired the charity ball. In December 1987, Bruce decided to stop practicing, which gave the couple more time to pursue their philanthropy. Admiration comes from all corners of the community.
Neila had our best interest in the office. If somebody had to be off, she came in and worked and helped us. And she was just one of the other helpers, Dr. Barnes would say. And still today, I see patients that used to come in our office with Dr. Barnes. Everyone that would cross through my door would always talk about what a nice man he was. Never heard anybody ever say a bad word about Dr. Barnes, because he was the best.
He's very knowledgeable. He definitely is willing to give direction and advice, and he does it in such a way that it's not commanding, but it's in such a way that you get his message, you get his point.
Well, all the things that they have contributed to the community and to the hospital shows how caring they are, and it's been a wonderful life as a result of their caring for others.
One thing that our dad has always instilled in us is that in order to be happy, you need to have three things. You have to have something to do, something to hope for, and someone to love. And Middletown Regional Hospital is something to do, and I interpret that in my life as having a purposeful life and leaving a legacy of what are you doing for other people. And similarly, my mom exemplifies those 3 points of happiness as well. My aspiration has always been to be like my mom.
The Barnes, in my mind, they're true heroes. I can't think of a finer couple.
The community is and has been very fortunate to have Neila and Bruce for all the contributions that they have made through the community. Thank you, Neila and Bruce, and thanks for your friendship.
We think this is definitely the highlight of all of our years here in Middletown. To be honored by the community for some of our accomplishments as ordinary citizens is very gratifying and a little humbling. But we moved here in 1965, and the first thing we noticed was that the people here were all involved in the community, and we had Camelot, and we wanted to be part of it. And over the years, Neila was very active in all her charitable organizations and groups. And Neila, why don't you comment a little on that?
Okay, in our married life, we have moved 10 times. And I was never able to participate in anything wherever we were. But when we moved to Middletown, it was my opportunity to have the children in school happily, have Bruce working either at the hospital or in his office, and we immediately fell in love with all the activities that are offered here. So that in 1976, I was chairman of the charity ball, and in 1978, I was in charge of the art function at the Middletown Arts Center, and in 1980, I was president of the American Cancer Society, and then, of course, we were here and we were asked to be on the committee that Bruce, you were going to mention something about it now?
Well, I would like to add that she was very busy always, but she always made me breakfast, packed my lunch, and sent me off to the office. But after I retired, we were approached as possibility, and they wanted us to be co-chairs of what a new concept would be called the Heritage Society, which would be really part of and involved in the Middletown Regional Foundation, later on the Atrium Medical Center Foundation. And a Heritage Society member would be an individual who had included the hospital in their estate planning. And we thought about this, and we finally decided that this was an opportunity to pay back for the many years that the hospital afforded hospital and surgical privileges for me. As it turned out, we were to serve 1 year, but last summer we retired after having served 17 years. We have thoroughly enjoyed being part of the community, and we want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for this wonderful honor.